Okay, we got Caesar being played by Saykoya and player one side versus Skyro, who's once again sticking with Koji. No Koji ban coming in, despite a very strong performance from Koji last game.
Yep, I mean Skyro sticking with what worked, and me not sticking with what didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think you would want to play Sedge on this map as much. I mean, maybe you can make Sedge work, but I feel like there's just a little bit too much conflict happening early on. That said, you know, we're still seeing two commanders with relatively slow groove charges, so I guess we'll see how that plays out.
Yep. There's also like two commanders that still like have a lot of pressure just from having the tier 1, even if they eventually want to get the tier 2.
That's true, yeah. Caesar can definitely end a game with a tier 1. And, you know, same with Koji actually. Very strong tier 1. Alright, not seeing anything too out of the ordinary here. Sword's electing to hit the village, but that's pretty much the way everybody plays this out now.
Yep. That's a standard opening. I could have like chosen to let Skyro capture both center villages to send a sword, an extra sword to support Caesar. But I chose not to do it because I'm thinking I'd rather have the village where fighting is not gonna happen, and then I'll just take the properties where fighting is going to happen with Caesar, hopefully. It'll also help me build some groove, hopefully.
Makes sense, and I think we're going to see... Oh, interestingly, like, Skyro decided to deal with that village and get the recapture. And now we're going to go for the lumber mill.
It looks cleaner to do it that way. But, you know, we chose to do different things.
Yeah, and are they actually going to flip the lumber mill? Alright, they're going to flip the one on your side. Okay, that's fair. But they're not going to flip the one on their side. And I believe this is a kill with Caesar.
Yep.
What, like 94? What is the threshold actually? Is it 93, 94?
Ooh. Just gonna ask me that like that? Hang on. Let me think for a bit. On plains or on road?
On planes.
On plains, the threshold would be 93.
Okay.
Yeah, just on the top of my head, you know.
And oh, flagstone tile actually giving that sort of a lot more defense than I would have thought.
Yep.
Not sure.
Flagstone is nice here. Also, I mean, it helps both sides because there's flagstone on both sides, really. Skyro really likes the wagon archer on this map, and here I was like, I chose to just hit the wagon because I'm like, even if the archer hits a sword, wagon is still more expensive to heal. Like, usually you don't mind a wagon getting hit, but in this situation, hitting the wagon is doing a bunch of eco damage.
Yeah, going for the wagon. Yeah, because like, yeah, they had to heal, which means that village is weaker. It's going to be easier to recapture. And I actually had a really good gold exchange there because your units just didn't take that much damage. So.
Yep.
Okay, nice maneuver there from the knight. And I get some more damage. We're going to see sword come in, get the kill there, and oh yeah, that sword actually going to be able to finish off that village by itself next turn. So. Play there.
Here, Originally, at the start of my turn, I thought Caesar would just decap the village again, but then I realized I would get surrounded by the wagon if I did that. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm
so I
surprised you didn't capture the
looked
village
back.
on the right-hand side, but... yeah, I mean, backing up is also fair. I mean, you're pretty close to tier 2, so... that makes
Yeah,
sense.
there was like a ton of fighting in the bottom left, right, which like builds up a lot of groove, and that's why I didn't like send a sword to support Caesar early. It's because I thought this would happen, and it did, which is good for me.
Yeah, meanwhile, Koji only on 90%, so potentially could get a tier 1 this turn, but that would be a lot of units kind of being out of position to do that, so...
Yep. I guess I mean, Koji had like probably a little more money from the early game because the opening was cleaner, but I have like a bunch of groove in exchange, so it's really like it's a trade-off, I suppose.
Oh, good pick off there. Gets a nice little sword kill. 169% right there as well, so that's looking good. And just kind of slowly leapfrog this army forwards. Not capturing the village. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, capturing doesn't give much groove, and killing a building gives a bunch, and I'm thinking I'm not gonna be able to hold that village if I capture it, so might as well not capture it.
And Skyro just doing the slow rotation now. Tends to be the way these things go. You move your commander to one side and then take advantage of the fact that you can just push against your opponent who doesn't quite have as much production. And we see this a lot on this map where it starts with the commander pressuring over on, say, the right hand side if you're on the bottom player position, and then you kind of front switch over to the left because that is where your reinforcement path is coming from. Which creates like a kind of, I think, like a very unique dynamic for this map, which I enjoy a lot.
And you have to be careful not to overcommit to defending, but slowing your opponent down on the side exchange is also really important. Alright.
There's more repositioning coming out. Skyro's playing is really quick actually. We're on turn 12, there's like 40 minutes left on the clock at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking over the top left pretty fast, so he has to be pretty aggressive on the right to make up for that. Because yeah, I've already like flipped a bunch of villages and he's just getting started with that.
Right, and that's a nice hit there with the dragon. Ooh, big witch hex is going to come in. Deal some good damage. And oh, is this going to be tier 2? That's a huge infantry formation. And I think even the spears in the back are going to be able to reach. Let's take a look. Alright, first spear sets up, hits the village. And Caesar will build groove on this turn. So this is going to do a ton. Mage able to find a kill right there. More units going down. I think that might be kind of the limit of how much big damage is coming in this turn. Oh, no, one more knight. Find a kill. Oh, mage. Gets a mage on an opposing mage. And that's some big damage. I mean, obviously, you know, Koji's going to be able to do some damage in return, but Koji's surrounded. So we're probably going to see a witch hex come in. And oh no, actually. Skyro's like, I'm out. 10 kills to 0 actually at that point, so. The gap was much wider than I had expected.
There's also like the only anti-air left was that mage that got crit. So, and I had like dragon and witch on the field.
Yeah, they could have moved their own witch down, but I get what you mean. Like, that would have
But yeah,
been a
there's
bad trade.
Caesar tier 2 dealt like a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does. That was a game-winning push, really, in every way. Like, did a lot of damage, got a surround on the opponent's commander, and was building towards a second groove as well, which is, I guess, the other scary thing about Caesar. Is even if you don't win off the first one, you do a ton of damage, and you potentially start building towards getting a second tier 1, like, pretty quickly
Yeah.
after.
You really have to be able to kill like most of what Caesar sent forward with the groove. If not, then like you're just gonna lose more and more units.
Yeah, and if Koji
Yeah.
had like been close to tier 2, maybe there's like a comeback potential there, right? Like Koji bombs do a lot of damage to big like blobs of army. But yeah, Koji was surrounded, and even before that fight actually Skyro must have been bleeding a few units here and there because that wasn't 10 kills on that turn. There was obviously some stuff before that point. And yeah, I mean I was surprised you didn't lose a single unit, but like I would have thought like the sword that harassed early on would have done something, but no, like even that lived, so. Yeah, well played. Saykoya takes game 2. We're gonna go to a game 3.